Welcome to the Bold and Determined Podcast with your man Victor Pride. And right here on the Podcast for Winners, we're bringing you motivation and mindset for the killers and real dealers, the makers and the takers, the winners and the grinners, and goddamn, even the sinners too. Let's get started. Well, hello, my friendly friends. Welcome back to another edition of the Bold and Determined Podcast with your man, Victor Pride. Ooh, now what do you say we get started on today's show, my friendly friends? At the end of the last episode, Marquise wanted to know a little bit about vegans. Here's what he asked. Hey, Uncle Vic, what are your thoughts on Raw Vanna? She's one of the most famous vegan YouTubers. She had over 3.5 million subscribers, and she has been caught eating meat on camera in Mexico. The vegan community is in shambles. She released an apology, but her comment section is being destroyed, and she has lost 1.9 million subscribers and counting. Ooh-wee, lots going on in the vegan community. Lots of the vegans are dropping like flies, and they are returning to what? They are returning to meat, and for a very good reason. But before we get into that reason, we want to know one thing about vegans. We have to remember the first rule of vegans. What is that? Vegans always lie. You see, the vegan diet is not sustainable. So one of two things is going to happen when you go on a vegan diet. The first thing is going to happen is that you're going to realize that you feel terrible. Your body is wasting away. Your mental clarity is wasting away. Your cognitive powers are wasting away. All of your health and well-being is wasting away when you go on a vegan diet. Once you realize that, you're going to take a bite of meat and realize, oh my goodness, I need this. Or the other thing that's going to happen is that you're going to be so ideologically dedicated to your vegan diet that you're not going to cheat. And what is going to happen is that you're going to simply waste away until there is nothing left and you die. So the vegan diet is completely unsustainable. And if you follow it to the end, you're a goner. You're going to die. You're going bye-bye. And you will know the vegans who actually follow the vegan diet very easily. How will you know somebody is actually following a vegan diet? They will be completely skin and bones. They will have no muscle tone whatsoever. They will be complete skin and bones. No muscle at all. Their eyes will be sunken back into their head. Their hair will be thin and falling out and look very sickly. In general, they will look like they are emaciated because that's exactly what they are when you go on a vegan diet. And a vegan diet is a diet of only plant foods and no animal food. So no meat, no milk, no eggs, no fish. What you can eat is rice, potatoes, broccoli, apples, bananas, pears, basically rabbit food. And when a human goes on a diet meant for rabbits, the human drastically diminishes and drastically wastes away. And it's very quick that it happens. Unfortunately for the vegan who is so ideologically dedicated to the diet, they don't know that it's happening to them. They think they're getting healthier as they're wasting away. So it actually plays tricks on their minds. And many of them actually think they're getting healthier, even though their digestion is horrible. They have horrible gas at all times of the day and night. They have to shit 3 or 4 times a day, every day, and they never feel satisfied. They are always hungry, always hungry. They will eat a huge bowl of rice and vegetables and a huge bowl of fruit, and 1 hour later they will feel starving. It is because you can never be fulfilled on a vegan diet. The only way your body can be fulfilled is with animal fat, with animal products. Just like in mother's milk, you need your saturated fat. But the vegans, they are very ideologically dedicated to it. And why are they ideologically dedicated to it? I'll tell you why. The vegans are ideologically dedicated to a vegan diet because it is not a diet for health. It is a tool of ideological subversion. Just like communism or socialism or social justice warriorism, all of these isms are tools of ideological subversion. They promise you one thing, but they deliver you quite another. In the case of veganism, it promises you health and well-being, and what it delivers to you is sickness and grave discomfort. In the case of communism or socialism, it promises you a worker's paradise where everything is free and the worker is king. What it delivers to you is starvation and mass death, and waiting in line half a day to get a pair of boots that are 4 sizes too small. These are all tools of ideological subversion. They play on your insecurities. They tell you one thing is going to happen for you, but then quite another happens. And in the case of ideological subversion, you could call ideological subversion by 3 names. The first name is ideological subversion. The second name is demoralization. The third name is psychological warfare. And because it is true psychological warfare, the person who has taken the bait and believed in this has had war created on their minds. And this is why they cannot think. Even when they are sickly and even on the verge of death, they cannot make use of true information. They cannot believe that it is their diet that is killing them. They'll make believe that it was a piece of pork they ate 4 years ago that is causing their grave illness, and not the fruits and vegetables and grains they eat 6 times a day, or the gigantic smoothies they drink every morning, every afternoon, and every evening. What happens when you are ideologically subverted is that your morals are taken away from you. You become demoralized. And think about this word, demoralized. Your morals are taken away. Demoralized. And when you have no morals anymore, you are open to any kind of propaganda they want to pump into your soft head. And because you are demoralized, because you have no morals anymore, you have no problem with lying. And we see this with so many of the vegan YouTubers who are a bunch of little liars. Many of them do follow the vegan diet, and you'll know them because they are skinny. But another portion of them tell you lies when the camera is on. And when the camera is off, what do you think they do? They go and they eat some meat, some fish, some eggs, some milk. You know why? You cannot thrive on a vegan diet. You will get sicker and sicker, weaker and dumber the longer you stay on a vegan diet. And many of these people know this. And that is why when the camera is off, they eat real food. And then they turn on the camera and they say, the vegan diet cured all of my problems. The vegan diet is the greatest. Follow the vegan diet. Yeah. Come on, follow vegan. Come on. Follow vegan diet. You know why? These people are demoralized. A demoralized person is a liar. They have no qualms about lying. And many of the times they justify their lying because they think they're saving the animals. They think that eating animals is unnatural, even though all of our ancestors had to eat animals to survive. And if our ancestors did not eat meat, we would not be here. You know why? Our ancestors would have died. You will die if you do not eat animal products, and that is always the end goal of ideological subversion. It is destruction of you and your people, death of you and your people. This is why communism, socialism, always ends in mass starvation and mass deaths. Happened in Russia, China, Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, everywhere that communism and all of these isms are exactly the same thing. They are tentacles on the same octopus. Communism, veganism, homoism, all of the isms that people preach to you, they are Trojan horses. They are backdoors to subvert your mind and demoralize you. And eventually, well, you know what I'm going to say. So this Raw Vanna, she goes on to her YouTube channel. She's got 3.5 million subscribers, and she tells all of them, the vegan diet is so good. I love the vegan diet. It's really helped me, blah, 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 blah. And then these idiot subscribers say, yeah, vegan diet, yeah, I follow it too. Even though it's giving me terrible problems with digestion, I've got to shit 3 times a day and I'm always constipated. I have severe brain fog and I can never think and I can never have any energy to do anything and I'm wasting away. But the vegan diet is really doing me great wonders. Thanks, Raw Vanna. And she says, you're welcome. And then when that camera turns off, she goes to a restaurant and she eats fish. Just like all of the vegan YouTubers who look healthy, they go and they eat meat when that camera is off. And just like all the people who promise you a worker's paradise, a worker's utopia and communism and socialism, they go home to a mansion. They drive home to a mansion in their BMW. And you drive home in your shitbox Hyundai to your coffin-sized apartment or your jail-sized condominium. It's always a joke on you. It is always a war, actually, on your mind. It is psychological warfare. And what happens when they subvert you, when they subvert your mind, they change the perception of reality to such an extent that despite an abundance of information, you are not able to come to sensible conclusions in the interest of defending yourself, your family, your community, or your country. Thanks to your demoralization, exposure to true information no longer matters. A person who is demoralized is completely unable to assess true information, and facts say nothing to these people. So this is why people believe the vegan propaganda that the vegan diet is the most healthy diet on earth, when in fact it is quite the opposite. It is the most destructive diet on the face of the earth, just as communism or socialism is the most destructive form of government on the face of the earth. If you follow a vegan diet, you're going to get sick. You're going to waste away. You're going to rot away. And if you don't eat meat, you're going to die. But because of the intense propaganda that we face every single day, because of the ideological subversion we face every single day, so many people don't know what is up and what is down. So many people don't know which way is left and which way is right. So many people think 2 + 2 = 5. Why? Because they can no longer think anymore. Their soft heads have turned to mush, and they'll believe silliness like you can eat rabbit food and be healthy. Don't eat human food, eat rabbit food. That'll make you healthy. And then you have these liars like Raw Vanna, who go onto YouTube and tell 3.5 million people, yeah, you should drink 10 bananas in your breakfast smoothie and add some arugula. That's going to really make you full of energy and full of life, and not be constipated at all times of the day and night, and not have low energy at all times of the day and night. Do that. And then the bitch goes and eats fish when you're not looking. I'll tell you what, friends, if you want to be healthy, eat some bacon, eat some eggs, eat some beef. When this microphone turns off, guess what I eat? I eat beef, like a human being. And the whole vegan thing, it would not be a big issue if the whole world were not so damn stupid today. All of us in the United States, Canada, Western Europe, we have all been ideologically subverted. The same people who subverted Russia, the Bolsheviks, the same people who took over Russia, they were not Russians, mind you, the same people who took over Russia, who subverted Russia with communist ideology, they have done the same thing to our Western world. And we are too stupid to see it. Because we have been demoralized, because we have been ideologically subverted, we can't make heads or tails of true information. So I am even shocked at the amount of dum-dums who say to me, still to this very day, Big, you should give the vegan diet a chance, man. You should just give it a chance. It's really going to help you. It's really the best way. It's really going to help you out. Meanwhile, they blow away in the wind because they're skin and bones, and I'm solid muscle from eating my beef and bacon and eggs. They can't do 5 push-ups in a row without getting winded. I do 600 push-ups every day in 1 hour. There's a reason for that. Meat is what the human body needs. Cholesterol and saturated fat from animals is what the human body needs. This is why all of our ancestors painted animals on the caves. We are hunters. You cannot deny human nature, and if you do, you will pay the price. And the vegans pay the price because they deny human nature. And that is what ideological subversion does. It makes you deny human nature. It makes you deny facts. It makes you deny the obvious. And when the obvious is presented to you, it no longer appears obvious. It no longer appears to be a fact. You can no longer make heads or tails of what information is true and what is false. And you see that today. You see people don't know what is up. People don't even know what sex they are. They don't know if they're a man or a woman. They don't know if they're a man or a woman, or even an in-between. Apparently, there's 50 other genders besides man and woman, even though nature created 2. God created 2. Man and woman, male and female, positive and negative, plus and minus, up and down. There are only 2, but we have been ideologically subverted and completely demoralized to such an extent that not only do we think rabbit food is human food, we think boys are girls and girls are boys. Now, of course, most of us don't think that, but a lot of us do. And a large enough percentage of people actually do believe this nonsense that I must come on the air and tell you what is true and what is false. Now, I know you are awake just as I am awake, and I am preaching to the choir right here. But there is one thing that is very important for you to do, my friendly friend. You must speak the truth to everybody you come across. You must not tell these lies, because telling little lies, like calling a man who is dressed like a woman she, just telling small lies like that, will start the process of ideological subversion. It will start the process of demoralization. If you tell these small politically correct lies like everybody is equal. Listen, if a man is 6 feet tall and another man is 5 feet tall, how are they equal? They're not equal. And the only way to equalize them is to chop off the feet of the man who is 6 feet tall so that he is as short as the 5 foot tall man. This is what equality does. It chops off the heads of the biggest and brightest so that they fall to the level of the least and the worst. Equality is impossible. It is a tool of ideological subversion. And you must understand this, and you must not ever say these lies to people like, yeah, equality is real. It's good. Feminism is about people's rights and human rights, and it's not a tool of killing the family. Listen, they tell you feminism. It's this great thing about empowering women to go work slave jobs in a 9-to-5 office. Actually, it's a tool of destruction, like all isms. It is designed to kill the family unit. And what happens when you do not have a family? You become demoralized. Your soft head becomes easy to fill with nonsense information. Without a family, you're nothing in this world. Without a family, you have no hope. You have nowhere to go. The only people you can rely on if you don't have a family is the state. And who created this in the first place? Who killed the family in the first place? Who pumped your soft head full of propaganda when you were 5 years old in kindergarten? The state. The same people who do this to you offer the solution. It's called problem, reaction, solution. They demoralize you so that you must rely on them. But whoops, they're not here to help you. They're not here to see you thrive. They're here to keep butt fucking you until you say, you know what? Enough is enough. Stop butt fucking me. And until you wake up, until you say, no, 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 no more, they're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. They're going to take away your food. They're going to take away your meat. They're going to take away your guns. They're going to take away your property. They're going to take away your bank accounts. They're going to keep taking from you until you wake up and you say, enough is enough. And they've been doing this to you for so long that even they have become insane with power. Because they are totally insane. We see that projected onto the normal people of the normal population. We see these crazy vegans, these crazy feminists, these crazy equality warriors, and they're totally insane because they are a projection from the top down. These people are so beyond crazy, so out of touch with reality that they think humans are going to merge with robots and that we're going to be a robot-human society in the future. That's never going to happen. You know why? You can never kill human nature. You cannot create a new world. God created this world, and only God. Humans cannot create a new world, but they're so far gone, they're so mad with power. They think that's where the world is going to end up. They think that we're going to be half human, half robot. We're going to eat food from a can or eat food from a tube and call it Soylent and no longer eat food and just push buttons and robots are going to be creating everything and doing everything. This is not going to happen. There's nothing to fear about this. They call this transhumanism, but there's nothing to fear about it because it's never going to happen. They've become so over the top. These people, they have become so over the top, so prideful, so hubristic that they're doing crazy things right out in our faces. And thanks to that, people are waking up left and right, just as you and I are already awake and we understand what is going on in this world. We can see what is going on in this world. And you and I know that it cannot last much longer. It is to a breaking point. And we are all, you and I, all of us are going to say, no more. We're not going to be a party to this system anymore. We're not going to give power to this system anymore. And I'll give you a little reason why they want to merge with the machines. They want to put their brain inside of a machine and keep their brain alive forever. Would you like to know why they want to see that happen? They want to see that happen because they want immortality. They don't want to die. I'm talking about the elite in air quotes, the elite who are not the elite. In fact, they are quite stupid. They are the worst of the worst people. They are all psychopaths and sociopaths, and they hate humanity. They hate society. And if you want to get right down to it, they serve as Satan. But that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that perhaps in another episode. But because they serve as Satan, they serve as the evil of the world. They don't want to die. They never want to die because they know that this world is not the end. And when they cross through to that other side, they will be held accountable for their actions, and for them, it is not going to be pretty. They are damned for eternity, if they know it. And this, I believe, is why they are so obsessed with transhumanism, with putting the brain inside of a robot and living forever, because they do not want to die. These people will have 5 heart transplants to stay alive. They want to put off death for as long as humanly possible, because they know this is it. For them, this is it. They will not be reincarnated. They will not come back to this earth. They are damned. And you can rest assured that these people, these people who are creating such damage to our society, flooding our societies with people who don't belong there, these people know. They know damn well. You see, friends, in the end, you cannot win over human nature. You cannot win over nature. You cannot beat God. God is nature and nature is God, and you cannot beat God. And in fact, these people have gone so far over the top They have created such chaos, the likes of which the world has never been in a more chaotic state than it is right now. There has never been a time in history when there has been more terrorism and horror in the world than there is right now. They are ramping it up. They are not even hiding it. They are putting it right in plain sight, right in our faces, and I'll tell you why they're doing that. They want us to know what they are doing. They show us blatantly what they are doing, and I'll tell you why. These people who push these agendas, socialism, communism, feminism, veganism, the people who push these agendas know what they're doing, and they want a way out. So they show us so that they can force us to make a decision. And that is what they are doing. That is why we see this rise in crazy people in feminism, communism, socialism, veganism, multiculturalism, all of these isms. They're pushing it to such a degree, such a prideful and boastful manner, that deep down, they want us to make a decision to no longer accept their reality, to no longer accept their authority. And that's what's going to happen, my friends. There is nothing to worry about in this world. All will be revealed in the end. The truth always wins. They cannot keep this up without constant, and I mean constant, reinforcement through the media. And the way that they do this, they show you propaganda on your television. Everybody who's listening to this radio program knows that when you watch on television, you see certain things that do not reflect reality. One of those sayings, for example, is that every time you see a white man on television, he's a bumbling idiot, and he's always inferior to a black man or to a woman. That is just one thing of many. You always see that a female is always stronger than a man. Well, guess what? In the real world, that's not quite true. But it is these tools of propaganda, the television, the school books, the magazines, the fake websites, the fake news websites that they are using to ideologically subvert us. But it is backfiring because they're going so far over the top. It is totally backfiring. And you know what? It always backfires on them in the end. People always wake up to their subtle lies and manipulations in the end because they get so prideful, so boastful that they lose all patience and they just ramp it up. Yeah, more, yeah, more. Well, guess what? The more they do it, the more we wake up. And that's good because we've been asleep for far too long. And I'll tell you why these people want out. These people who commit psychological warfare on us, they kill their own souls. They live in eternal hell. Even in this world where they have all the money in the world, hey, that's great. But they live in hell. You and I live in heaven. This world is a heaven. And we can make it a true heaven if we simply decide to make it a true heaven. If we simply make the switch in our brains from relying on them as an authority to no longer believing in them as an authority, because they are not an authority. They are the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low. And it is always the worst of the worst, the lowest of the low psychopaths that try to gain power over people. The good people of the world don't want power over other people. The good people of the world want to live and let others live. But these people who are dead inside, they hate society. That is what a sociopath is. A sociopath is somebody who hates society. And I'll tell you why these people are sociopaths. When these people are children, these people who rule this world, when these people are children, they are tortured by their own parents. They are tortured because the parents must make them cold-blooded. You must be cold-blooded to rule in the way that they rule. So the parents put them through ritualistic torture, ritualistic abuse, to kill any sense of compassion for humanity, to kill any sense of empathy or sympathy for mankind, and to instill a very vast and nearly undying hatred of all humanity. In short, they make them sociopaths. A psychopath is born, a sociopath is made, and a sociopath hates society. So this is why they act in the way that they act. This is why the things that they pretend to give us to help us actually hurt us. They are literally trying to hurt us with a vegan diet, with socialism, with homoism, with feminism. They are literally trying to destroy us because they hate society and they work for dark forces. So this is why you need to be aware of it. The vegan diet, veganism, it's not some innocuous little innocent thing where people just think, oh, I'm going to be healthy if I eat like that. No. It's psychological warfare on you. And this is why the vegans are so adamant that you don't eat animals. Well, guess what? When you eat animals, you get healthy. When you don't eat animals, you get sick. They're adamant that you get sick. Talk to any vegan. They will tell you, abortion is good. There are too many people in the world. We should kill people. They will all openly tell you this. A lot of you simply choose not to listen to them. They are literally out for the demise of people. They'll use lies to get it. Because if they told you, hey, there are too many people in the world, we need to kill you. No, don't kill me, but we're going to have to kill you. People would say, that's not a very good deal. I don't agree to that. So what they do, they have to lie about it. They have to subvert their actual ideology. They say, hey, eat this grass. You're going to be really healthy and live forever. And if you keep eating that bad meat, you're going to get cancer and die. And you say, really? Okay, I'll give it a try. Thanks, Ravana. Meanwhile, that bitch is eating fish while you're eating grass. So that's the mindset of the vegan. It's the same mindset of all ideological subverters in the world. And all these ideological subverters, they're just useful idiots. That's what they are. They're useful idiots. They think they're doing a good thing, or a lot of times they don't even know what in the hell they're doing. Their soft heads are so full of nonsense, they don't even know what in the hell they're doing. They don't know what is a lie anymore. They think 2 + 2 = 5. Now, if you think 2 + 2 = 5, is it a lie? That's the mind of the vegan. The mind of the vegan says 2 + 2 = 5. I'm sure about it. Your job is to not listen. Any kind of ism, just gotta stay away. All the isms accomplish the same goals. Destruction, death, death of the family, death of your morals, the inversion of what is good, destruction of society. It always ends in the same place. Starvation. That's where communism ends. That's where veganism ends. Starvation. Michael asks, hi Vic, I've been 3 weeks on the zero-carb carnivore diet. I feel all the benefits you say, but the thing that amazes me the most is that now I dream every night, and I wake up remembering the dreams. Somebody doesn't want us to remember our dreams? He asks. And I'll tell you what, you're right, somebody does not want us to remember our dreams. They want us to feel no hope, actually, is what they want. They want us to see no beauty. They want us to feel no hope. They want us to feel no inspiration, and I'll tell you why. They feed on negative emotions such as anger, sadness, depression, and stress. And I mean that literally. These people, I hate to just come right out and say it, but these people service Satan, and they service the demons. And demons, as we all know, are the lower life forms, the lower negative entities, and they feed on negative emotions. And if you've ever experienced a highly stressful period, and when you go to sleep, sometimes when you wake up and you're highly stressed, you wake up in the in-between, you're not asleep and you're not awake, but you're cognizant, you're aware, but you cannot move. You cannot move because something is on your chest holding you down, and it feels like a demon is on your chest holding you down. You can't move, and you're stuck in this position. You know why this happens? This happens because you feel those bad emotions like stress and anxiety, and these negative emotions, these negative entities, these demons or these jinns, they feed on these negative emotions. And in fact, when you wake up in that period, you're not quite asleep and you're not quite awake and you're so stressed out and you're held down. It's because that demon is on top of your chest, eating your fear, eating your anxiety, eating your stress. This is sustenance to them. This is what they feed on. They need this to survive. And we all know about demonic possession. We've spoken about this before. We've spoken about exorcisms. So we know that people can be and are possessed by these otherworldly entities or these interdimensional entities. And all of the people in charge are possessed by these people because the people in charge, they do literally worship Satan. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to be honest, but they worship Satan. Let's be real. They worship the devil. And when they do this, they become infused with the power of evil. They become possessed by demons. And because they're possessed by demons, they must feed these demons. So what do they do to feed these demons? Create war, create havoc, create chaos, create terror, create horror to feed these demons. And they don't just do it in faraway countries. These people in charge create terror and horror on the people of the same country that they are supposedly members of. So even some of our own governments do this to the people. They create psychological warfare on the people. And one way they do this is to make everything ugly. Make everything so ugly that you have no hope. You have only despair and feelings of ugliness. And if these people were not in charge, you would see beautiful architecture everywhere. You would see beautiful paintings everywhere. The world is filled with beauty, but not when these creatures are in charge. So do they not want you to dream? Hell no, they don't want you to dream. They want you stuck in the lower levels, the lower emotions, the lower chakras, so that you can feed the demons. And when you cut out these fake foods that they feed you, these genetically modified foods like corn and wheat that you should not be eating, when you cut these foods out of your diet, when you eat the natural human diet, all of our ancestors were hunters. We are meat eaters. And when you eat this way, suddenly you start to dream every single night. And I'll tell you what, boys, my dreams are so vivid Every night my dreams are so vivid. It is like watching a movie from start to finish. I used to not dream at all. I used to not dream. And if I did dream, I could barely remember my dreams. Now, I dream every single night, and it is so vivid. If I were a movie writer, I could write a new movie every day. I even get songs in my dreams. New songs are played for me. A song was played for me called Heaven Named Stacy that I'll always remember. You know how in dreams you say, oh, you were in my dream, but you weren't you were somebody else. Or, yeah, it was my mom in my dream, but actually it wasn't my mom, it was somebody else. Well, in my dream, it was the band Motorhead playing a song called Heaven Named Stacy, but it wasn't Motorhead, it was somebody else. It was more like a Buddy Holly type band. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, when you eat the carnivore diet, you have such intense, vivid, wonderful dreams that they're like movies every single night. It's incredible. I never thought I could dream like that. So that's that. Brian asks, what are your thoughts on the simulation theory? The simulation theory is a theory by modern atheists and modern scientists that the world we live in is a creation or a simulation or a computer program. In the past, we had the same idea. We just called it the creation of God. So the world is, in fact, a simulation because the world is a creation. What the modern atheists and the modern scientists who talk about simulation theory don't seem to understand is that we've always known this throughout the dawn of time, that the world is a creation of God. So these people, these new modern atheists, they come to the same conclusions that the religious people come to. All of the religions of the past are true. All of the religions are correct. And you will always come to the same conclusion. That conclusion is simple. God created the earth. It's always going to be the same. And these new scientists and the new atheists come to the very same conclusion. Oh, this world is a creation. That's what it is. It's a simulation. Everything was created. Hey, guy, we knew that 30,000 years ago. We knew that 1,000 years ago. It's written in the Bible. It's written in the Holy Quran. Yes, the world is a simulation. It is a creation. We already know this. We've known this since the dawn of time. There is nothing in the world that can come from nothing. This world did not just appear one day. A creation must have a creator. Nothing can be here without first being created. And God is the creator of this world. God says to a thing, be, and it becomes. God thinks this in his mind, and his mind is so powerful, it becomes. So, those are my thoughts on simulation theory. It's a modern new spin on a very old idea. Al asks, I wanted to ask you, how do you remember things that you read or study or hear? I'm trying to make a study guide to remember what you say from these podcasts and from your blog articles. I want to remember them for the rest of my life. How do you learn and study and remember things from books and other forms of media? Okay, that's a great question. It's not really something I ever thought about, but let me go ahead and give you what I do. What I do is that I read the information, I internalize the information, I put the information into my own words, and then I own the idea from then on. So I don't remember the exact words from the book or the study. And in fact, I can never do a book report in my life because I don't remember the book. I remember what I get from the book, and I just remember my own ideas, and I go off on my own tangent. So I've never done a book report, and I never will because I can't. I'm inspired by some work, and it inspires me to go off in my own world and develop my own new ideas. So I take whatever hits me, I take it and I develop something new from it. I use it as a stepping stone, and then I discard the work. I take what I want from it, I develop something new, and then I discard the work. So I don't actually remember the work. I'll tell you about my favorite book, Think and Grow Rich. I don't know what that book is about, but I know what it meant to me. I know what I got from it. I couldn't tell you what the chapters were. I couldn't tell you what he talked about. I've got no idea what's in that book. I've read it a bunch of times. No idea what's in the book. I just know when I hear the words, Think and Grow Rich. I know what it means to me because I took it and I made it my own. That's really the way that you know a book is really powerful, is if you could just see the title and you can go on this tangent about what it means. If you are just repeating what the author had to say, that's fine, that's all right, but you're never going to be a creator if you do it that way. You're going to be an imitator, but not a creator. You've got to take from it. You've got to take the basic idea and then formulate your new theory on top of it. So it's like a building block. It's the foundation of a new idea. And that's how you'll remember it. It's the foundation. You cannot be in a house without a foundation. It's the building block of everything. The foundation is the building block. It's the blueprint of everything that is. So use it as a blueprint for your new ideas and then build upon it. Build upon it. If you do not intend to build upon it, then what use is the information in the first place? Leo asks, Victor, I'm getting better at talking to and flirting with girls in person, but I simply hate texting with them. I only use it to set up a date without delving into long conversations, but it's still hindering the initial attraction I build up. It takes them a long time to reply, sometimes even days, and then they usually flake or lose interest. I've tried calling them, but like any typical millennial girl nowadays, they never pick up because they're always busy. On the other hand, if I play the busy card, I get nowhere. For we know girls rarely initiate. How do I avoid this stupid text game bullshit? Texting is not natural, and it kills attraction. Ooh, strong question. I'll tell you what, you said texting is not natural and it kills attraction. You know what else is not natural? Calling somebody on a telephone. A telephone's been around for 150 years maximum. The only natural way to have a conversation with somebody is face to face. So we are already in the world of the non-natural when we call them. So call them or text them. Both are not natural. Now today's young girls are they're so far gone. They're so socially insecure because they've been on their phones for damn near all their life that they don't know how to have a conversation. So you're trying to call people who don't know how to talk on the phone and expecting them to know when they don't know. They've been texting all their life. How are they going to know how to have a conversation? So you're in a bit of a pickle here because all the world that you're trying to get into contact with doesn't want to talk to you on the phone. And I can't say that I blame them. All my life, I have hated talking on the telephone. I hate it with a passion. I would rather text somebody, email somebody. I would rather send a letter in the mail through snail mail than talk to somebody on the telephone. I hate talking on the telephone, and I always have. When I was growing up, we didn't have text messaging. We didn't have email. So you had to talk on the phone. I always hated it, and I will always hate it. So I don't blame these young girls for hating talking on the phone. I hate it too. But what you're asking, it's a bigger problem than just not talking on the phone. They flake because 10,000 guys are trying to get at them at the same time. You are one of 10,000, and you need to understand that. And in fact, what I would do, were I a young man today, I would not play this game. I would not play the game. If a female does not respond to me, if she flakes on me, if she does not respond to a text, I would next her right away. I would not give her a second chance. I would not keep messaging her. I would let her be. I would find the one who actually wants to initiate conversation with me. I would find the one who actually wants to talk with me. And I would let the others go. They're not worth your time, and in the end, you're going to find out that they are not worth much of anything because they are damaged. A lot of them are already damaged beyond repair, even by the time they're 18 or 19. They're so damaged by the dating apps and the pornography and the texting and the social media and the virtual reality that they're just not equipped to live in the real world. Super unfortunate for the young men of today. The best thing you can do is find you one who lives out in the country and doesn't use a phone too much, does not participate in the virtual world too much. It's going to be a difficult thing to find. So many young men ask me this question: how do I find somebody today when they're all obsessed with the phones, they're all obsessed with social media, they're all obsessed with texting, they're all getting dicked down from Tinder every night of the week? And I say, yeah, you're in for a real uphill battle. It's not going to be easy to find one, and there is no easy solution. You're in difficult times, and the best you can hope for in these difficult times, probably a collapse of society. Go back to the way things were. That's the best you can hope for, because it's not going to get better with technology. It's going to get worse with technology. The more technology we develop, the more humanity will end. Now, I don't believe we're going to merge with the machines and become one. I think it's all going to revert back to the way it was. Like I said, these things happen in history. These things have already happened in the past. We've gotten too big with technology, and then God says, nope, back to zero, back to starting point. So this has happened before, it will happen again. We will not keep evolving with technology. Technology will not be part of humanity. But until that happens, humanity will decrease and decrease and decrease. And it's going to be very difficult to find a young lady who's not obsessed with the phone and who knows how to live in the real world. So there's my non-answer for you. It's going to be very difficult. Damon asks, I know you said you would never marry a woman that had another man's kids, and I'm with you 1000%. But what is your take on even dating a woman with kids? Listen, if you wouldn't marry her, why would you ever waste time dating her? That's so silly. Dating itself is such a ridiculous waste of time. It's so utterly pointless. Dating is a way to keep you from focusing on what is important in this world. And I'll tell you what is important in this world. The only thing that is important in this world, building a family. And when you're obsessed with dating this one or dating that one or dating Becca and Veronica and Cindy and Denise, what you're not doing is focusing on your own future. You're putting off your own future. So dating is such an utter waste of time that I have not dated in over 10 years. And I tell you what, when I stopped dating, when I stopped going out to the bars and looking for casual sex, that's when I started making some money. That's when I started making real progress in this world. When I was all about the pussy, when I was all about trying to get some new girls every weekend, damn near every night, I never had any money. I never had anything to show for it. I never had nothing until I made the switch in my mind and said, I'm not going to date anymore because it's a ridiculous waste of time. And I'm not going to pursue random sex anymore because not only is it not a waste of time, it also eats at your soul. It's no good for you. And you also expend your vital energy when you do it. And when I stopped expending my vital energy on random sluts, that's when I started making money. And I haven't had to worry about money since then. So should you date a woman with kids? Hell no. Blake asks, sleep being as essential as it is, what are your thoughts on the optimal or natural human sleeping position and sleeping on a harder surface, such as a thin pad on the floor versus a regular mattress or a firm mattress? Okay, great question. I've slept on all three. I've slept on the floor. I've slept on a hard mattress and I've slept on a soft mattress. And I'll tell you what, the absolute worst to sleep on is a soft mattress. The soft mattress is by far the worst for the human body to sleep on. Go outside. Take a peek at nature. Where will you find something that mimics a soft mattress? You'll find it nowhere, and for good reason. It kills the human body. It kills the spine. It kills the bones. It kills the posture when you sleep on soft mattresses. I tell you what, go find somebody who says they've got a bad back. I've got a bad back. Guess what else they will say? I've got a bad back. I need a soft mattress to sleep on. What these people don't seem to understand is that their soft mattress is causing their bad back in the first place. And if they stop sleeping on a soft mattress, their back would get better. So for me, I love sleeping on the floor or on a hard mattress. And I will not sleep on a soft mattress unless there was no other option. And how could there be no other option when there's always a floor right by you? So sleeping on the floor, it takes about 3 or 4 nights to get used to. But after 3 or 4 nights, it stops being uncomfortable. And wouldn't you know it, it starts to be comfortable. So I enjoy sleeping on the floor, but I would prefer sleeping on a hard mattress because I would prefer to be up off of the floor a little bit just in case some rats or some bugs or some ants or something, some cockroaches come in at night. So that's why I would prefer a nice hard mattress, but I'll sleep on the floor too. I'm not above it. Liam asks, great podcast, Vic. You should check out E. Michael Jones, Owen Benjamin, and Henrik Palmgren. What are your thoughts on these men and Stefan Molyneux? Okay, I'll go in order. E. Michael Jones is great. I recommend all of the listeners of the B&D podcast, check out E. Michael Jones on YouTube. You're going to be in for some truth bombs. I've never seen an academic, a United States academic, who ever speaks the truth. Not Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson is a liar. But E. Michael Jones, that man is a truth teller, and he's been a godsend for me and has showed me why things are the way they are, and he'll show you who is in charge of this world. So E. Michael Jones gets a 2 thumbs up from Uncle Vic. Next on the list was Owen Benjamin. I love Owen Benjamin also. I watch Owen Benjamin all the time. Owen Benjamin does 4-hour live streams on YouTube all the time. That for me, that's my nighttime entertainment. When I get home, when I want to relax and hang out and just chill out, man. I watch Owen Benjamin on YouTube. You know I don't watch no television. I don't watch no Netflix. I don't watch no original YouTube series. I watch Owen Benjamin until he, and I'll keep watching him until he gets canned from everywhere. Till he gets banned from everywhere. So Owen Benjamin gets 2 thumbs up from me. Another truth teller, another person who has found out what is important in this world. Owen Benjamin was a semi-famous Hollywood comedian, did movies and all that stuff. But he woke up. He realized, wait a second, these people are nuts. They're trying to push abortion. They're trying to push little boys in dresses and call them girls. So he woke up. He moved out to the countryside in Washington, growing a garden with his wife, building a family. So highly respect what he's doing. Give him 2 thumbs up. This man, Henrik Palmgren, I don't know who this man is, so never heard of Henrik. Perhaps one day I'll check him out. The last one was Stefan Molyneux. I don't like Stefan Molyneux. What can I say? I just don't like him. There's something about him I don't like. Maybe he's just too in the middle. He's not a stupid man, but he's also not a very interesting man to me. He just seems right in the middle. And we are on the precipice of falling off the edge or going back to the way things were. And if you stand right on the middle, you're doing basically nothing. That is what I feel Stefan Molyneux is. He's somebody who straddles the middle. I ain't got time for that. You got to speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. The truth must get out. And if you ain't speaking the truth, Get out of here. He goes on to say, last, what are your thoughts on men who offer some good insights and advice, but also mislead people in some way? Mike Cernovich, a filmmaker, has helped me get out of anxiety and used to do some good work, and now he's running a documentary on how Qatari money buys out politicians. Can you respect someone who does some good work, but is too afraid of hitting 100% total absolute truth? In these dark times, the answer is no. The answer is no. We are in battle right now. We are in a psychological warfare, and so many people don't understand this, and they need this information. They need to know what is going on. And if somebody knows, but they don't say, then I don't got time for that. I don't got time for that. We must let the people know. We must let the people know. We must wake up the people. And if you're pretending that Qatar is the problem, or Saudi Arabia is the problem, or that China is the problem, instead of facing the real problem, I don't got time for that. Simple as that. Peter asks, I would like to ask whether sites like medium.com are killing self-hosted blogs like WordPress these days, as they're killing ad-based business models and making us transition to a subscription-based model. Is it still profitable to start your own blog with your own domain name? Okay. Is it still profitable to start your own blog with your own domain name these days? In fact, it is only profitable to start your own domain name these days. It is not profitable to go with medium.com. Medium.com, you can read 15 articles for free every month, and then you have to pay for it. But I don't pay for that. I'm not ever going to pay for that. Now, a lot of silly and frankly stupid people think, oh, I'm going to move my business to medium.com and then it's going to be much better for me. I'm going to move away from my own self-hosted blog and I'm going to go there and it's going to be so great. And then guess what happens? Your work is hidden behind a paywall and you no longer have control of your work. You no longer have control of your business. These idiot people who move their blog business to medium.com, they give away control to an outside company and they think this is going to help their business. Hey, here's a great idea to help my business. Let me no longer control my business. Let an outside company control my business. By the way, they can ban me anytime they want. They can do anything they want at any time because it's their company and I'm the fucking fool who moved my business to their platform. So is it still profitable to start your own blog with your own domain name? It is only profitable to start your own blog with your own domain, and it is not profitable to start your business at medium.com. And these idiots who do it are going to figure it out eventually. They fool these people. They fool these people. They fool them. If you want to own your business, if you want to run a business and make money, you must control the business. All aspects of it. When you give away control, you lose everything. It's so simple. But like I said earlier, these people are so demoralized and so ideologically subverted, they don't even understand what is true information and what is not. Here's what they think. They think that giving away control of their business to an outside company is going to help them make money. Guess what? You gave everything away. Your money, your subscribers. You gave everything away. If you want to make money, you must stay in control. You must be in control of your blog. It's the only way to make money from a blog. Be in control of it. Give away control and you give away your income. It's so blindingly obvious. But people still ask the question, can you still make money from a blog? Can you still make money from owning your own blog? I heard the best way to make money from a blog is to give away ownership and give away control of your blog and then just be on somebody else's platform and hide behind a paywall and let them do everything for you. So, if you want to start a blog, if you want to be a blog artist, there is great opportunity in the blog business these days. It's so open because so many idiots have gone to places like Medium and so many idiots are even microblogging on Twitter thinking they're making a difference. They're making nothing. They're doing nothing. So the blog business it has never been so open as it is right now, today. It is so ripe for the opportunity. But so many people are too stupid to take the opportunity. They'd rather go to Twitter. They'd rather go to medium.com. It's so open. It's right here for the taking. Are you man enough to take it? If you're man enough to start your own blog and build your own real business in an area that has no competition, go to badnet.com. We'll start your own self-hosted blog for you. We own nothing. All we do is set it up for you and give it to you. You own your own domain name, yourname.com. Your blog is ready to go. You own it. We don't own jack shit. We just set it up for you. So go to badnet.com. Start your own blog. And for the love of God, don't start your blog business on somebody else's platform that they own. You've got to own it. You've got to take ownership. You've got to take responsibility. Now, this man also asked, he said they're killing the ad-based business model, which is why blogs have to go to medium.com. Ads suck. Ads never made anybody any money. Ads are a joke. It's fake. You're listening to this right now. When's the last time you clicked on a Google ad? You don't click on that shit. Nobody does. That was never the way to make money. That's a Trojan horse for something else. And we'll perhaps talk about that later. ML asks, Are you off TRT now? Are you content with mediocre natural production? What drugs did you use to come off and stay off? Are you fertile now you're off TRT? So TRT is testosterone replacement therapy, and I'm going to give you a little bit of truth. Testosterone replacement therapy is a nice way of saying we're on steroids. But we say, no, it's not steroids, it's TRT, it's from the doctor, it's totally natural. And then people are like, oh, okay, that's not steroids. Well, guess what? Testosterone is a steroid. So that's what it is. TRT is a covert way to be on steroids without getting judged by people. I am off TRT, so I can speak about it openly. Now, regarding testosterone, I got some news for you. Testosterone as a steroid, it's not the best one. In fact, if you want to know the real truth, testosterone sucks. It's not very good. There are far superior steroids to testosterone. Now, testosterone was the first steroid that was invented in the 1930s. They invented subsequent steroids for the very specific reason. Testosterone sucks. It does. It is not a very good one. Now, why does testosterone suck? Great question. I'll tell you why. Testosterone sucks because along with testosterone, you get estrogen. Testosterone converts into estrogen. So when you use testosterone, you also are using estrogen. This is why people who use too much testosterone, they get so bloated and their nipples puff out and their face is all puffy. It's because they're estrogenic. And if you don't kill the estrogen with a anti-estrogen compound such as red PCT or Nolvadex or something, you get really bad side effects from testosterone. So I don't like testosterone. I like the hormone testosterone in my body. I don't like injectable testosterone. For me, it was never good. It was never fun. It was never pleasant. So getting off of it was not a difficult decision, even though I was on it for a number of years because I thought you needed it, but you don't. And the way I got off of it was I just used red PCT in place of the TRT or the testosterone. And red PCT was strong enough that it kept my libido up, kept my erections, kept everything good. In fact, I felt way better. I've always felt way better on red PCT than I do on testosterone. And if you are going to take TRT or testosterone, make sure you've got a good anti-estrogen such as red PCT ready to go because testosterone converts into estrogen. And when that happens, it sucks. Benjamin asks, Uncle Vic, what is your opinion on the military, the police force, and their necessity or lack thereof? That's a great question, and here's the answer. Regarding the military today, the modern military, when you go and you sign up for the military, you don't fight for your country, you fight for politicians. All the wars in this world are started by politicians. There has never been a family in the history of the world sitting around the dinner table. There's no family in Russia sitting around the dinner table saying, you know what, we should invade America. There's never been a family in America sitting around the dinner table thinking, you know what, we need to go invade Vietnam. It never happens. It's always for the politicians. So you go and you fight and you die for psychopaths so that they can gain more power, more control, more resources in the world. You don't fight for the people. Why would the people need you to be in Afghanistan or Korea or Vietnam or even Germany? They don't. It's a scam. They use your patriotism against you. These people are psychopaths. They use all of our good qualities against us. They use our need for equality to bring in people who don't belong in our countries and overflood our countries and then genocide us. They use our patriotism against us and say, you need to go to war so you can be a patriot. So you need to go to Afghanistan and be a patriot so that we can take control of the poppy fields and bring heroin and opiates into America so that all these people can start dying of overdoses on prescription opioids and heroin. Why would we be in Afghanistan? I just told you why. To take control of the poppy field so that we can take the poppy, make it into opioids, so that now we can have the opioid death crisis that we're currently experiencing. Why are we experiencing that? Because we've took control of the poppy fields in Afghanistan. It's always about resources, drugs, power, money. It's never about defending you and your family. It's never about defending your nation. It's always about going to war for the politicians so that they can gain more power. The police force is the same. The police force is a protection racket. The police force, on the police force cruiser, it says to serve and protect. They leave out who they serve and protect because they damn sure don't serve and protect you. You only call the police after something has happened to you, never before. You know what really protects you? Weapons, guns. That's what protects you. The police just come in there to clean up the mess. And in fact, they are a protection racket. They pull you over because you're going 65 and a 60. They give you a ticket. They say, yeah, you broke the law, which is totally man-made and arbitrary, means nothing. You broke this speeding law, so you're going to have to pay us money. If you don't pay us money, we're going to lock you in a cage. That's a protection racket. The only people they protect you from is the police. So you pay this money to protect yourself from the police who gave you the ticket. It's an old school protection racket. In the past, before there were police, hoodlums would go around to the business areas and they would burn down a building. And then another hoodlum would go to another business in the area and say, "Been a lot of fires in the area. We'd hate to see your place go up into flames. Give us some money and we'll protect your place." What they don't say is that we'll protect your place from us, the people who actually set fire to the buildings. It is a protection racket. That is what the police are. A protection racket, a way to extract money from you. Matt asks, I noticed that at some point you listen to the Jocko podcast. You say joining the military is a way to serve someone else and not be your own master, and I wholeheartedly agree with you. I agree that you are risking your life for the advancement of a malevolent elite. I come from a line of warriors. I was raised around a community of special operators in the United States. I know a good many of these men personally, and most of them aren't patriots in the way that you would think. They are simply warriors. They know it, and they prefer it that way. They exist to wage war. They are some of the most motivated individuals I've known. They fight for brotherhood, and they fight to fight. As a child, this was all I wanted. I turned away from that to pursue entrepreneurship. My question is, what would you tell a 23-year-old man who successfully followed the path to financial freedom but still feels war in his blood? It isn't God and country that keeps making me want to sign the dotted line. Okay, this was a great question, and I applaud this young man for his honesty. That in fact it is not God and country that the warriors fight for. They go and they fight because there's always a class of men born who were born to be warriors. There is always a class who are born to do battle. In every generation, in every group of men, there are men who are simply born to do war, and they don't necessarily care who they do war for. So we've been brainwashed in this country to say, thank you for fighting for your country. Thank you for protecting our freedom. That's not quite the way it is. They go and they fight for politicians to gain power in other countries. They don't fight for our country because for what reason would our country need to be in Afghanistan? It wouldn't, and it doesn't. And in fact, it actually leads to more deaths in our country. Our boys in the military get blown up, get their arms and legs blown off by IEDs, and then they ship all this opioids back, and we have these record numbers of deaths from opioids. So they're not fighting for God and country. They're fighting because they need to fight, because they feel war in their blood. So that's my opinion on the military. If this young man wants to join the military, if he's feeling called to do that, I have to say you must make your own choice. And I'm not going to give you the right choice in this scenario. John Miklo asks, Uncle Vic, is self-talk beneficial? Has it helped you in any way throughout your life? Victor, just calm down, man. Just think about everything to the end, man. I don't really self-talk too much, but I do think things through inside of my own head. And that's much the same way. That's much the same thing that you're talking about. If I want to do something, I'll think about it to the end. I'll think about what's going to be the end result. And when I wake up tomorrow, am I going to be glad I did this or am I going to be sad I did this? And if it's something like, should I eat this pizza and ice cream? Okay, well, what am I going to feel like tomorrow morning? I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow morning. So no, I'm not going to eat it. And in fact, I do talk to myself, and my favorite word to myself is no. If I think, should I eat pizza and ice cream? I'll say to myself out loud, no. And then I won't do it. So I do talk to myself. Sometimes my favorite word is no, but I do in my head always go through the scenario and see what is going to be the outcome. Because I try not to rush into anything. I try not to do anything haphazardly and spur of the moment. I try to think, what's going to be the outcome if I do this? And when I decide to do it, I go full steam ahead and I do it. RH asks, why do models nowadays always show their armpits in advertisements? Should a woman hide her armpits or let their armpits be seen? Women show their armpits in advertisements because they only make ugly advertisements. Like I said earlier in this episode, they want everything to be ugly because they want you to feel despair and disgust so that the demons can feed on these emotions. That is why models today show their armpits in advertisements. It's all about making the ugliest art possible. That is why modern art is so atrocious, so hideous. And that is why, in fact, everything we see today is so atrocious, from the architecture to the advertisements. It is all hideous. For the simple fact that they are committing psychological warfare upon you and I. That is why. That is the real reason. And the best thing you can do is to simply opt out of their system. Don't watch their television where they show their advertisements. Don't look at any YouTube channels or news websites that show these kind of advertisements. Don't watch Netflix. Don't read magazines. Be inside your own world, inside your own bubble. You can create a great reality outside of their world, outside of their ugly system. You can create your own world and fill it with beauty. You don't have to look at this stuff, even though you probably see it in billboards and stuff. And in some places you cannot avoid it, but you don't have to go and seek it out. You don't have to go and look at their art when there are so many great content creators today. There is so much that you can use to be entertained and learn from that you don't have to use any of their propaganda systems. Like I said before, sign up for the Bold and Determined email list, and every Friday you get 5-Star Friday. And I always send out the best YouTube content creators, the best podcasts, the best blogs, the best articles. I send out the best stuff that you will never ever find in the mainstream media. You'll never find this stuff. I find the best stuff that is hidden that most people don't know about, and I send it to you directly in 5-Star Friday. And I guarantee you none of them show their armpits. That is a guarantee. In 5-Star Friday, you will never see armpits. Paul asks, "Hi Vic, on episode 32 you said that a young man in today's world is in a much better place without a girlfriend. You also said that one can have sex without a girlfriend, which is true. Since my ex-girlfriend broke up with me, I had sex with a few girls, but I always had to waste my time going to clubs, bars, and other kinds of events to chase tail. Having no sex at all is no option for me. I'm 22 years old and do not watch porn or masturbate." Napoleon Hill wrote regarding sexual transmutation that the emotion of love should be involved when having sex to serve as a safety valve. How can a young man solve this tricky situation? I want to transmute my sexual energy and put it in my business, but obviously do not love a random club girl. A girlfriend, on the other hand, costs so much time that could be spent working on my business. Is there a way out of this dilemma? There is a way out of this dilemma, and it is simply a matter of changing your mind. You said that having no sex is no option at all and that you don't have a girlfriend that you love. Well, if you want to have sex, you should love the person you're having sex with. That should go without saying, but in today's world, people don't know what is up and down. They think 2 + 2 = 5. They think that you could have sex with so many random people and that it's going to work out well for you. It is not going to work out well for you having sex with random people. It just isn't. That's not the way of nature. It doesn't happen that way. So you say having sex is no option and that having a girlfriend is no option. Well, frankly, you're going to need to pick one. If you want to transmute your sexual energy, there's no way you're going to do it by having sex with random girls. It does not work like that. Transmutation of sexual energy works in one of two ways. You have sex with somebody that you love, or you don't have sex at all and you save your vital energy and you use that vital energy and that vitality to build and create something more. The act of sex is used to create something. It is used to create life. And if you're not using it to create life or to create something, you are simply wasting it. And having sex with random girls, all you're doing is you're using them to masturbate. That's all you're doing. If you're not using it to create something or to build something, you're using them to masturbate. You're masturbating with girls. That's basically it. So, for me, the best thing I ever did, I used to chase tail all the time. I used to be sex obsessed. And when I finally stopped and put my energy into my business, I made money within the first month. I made $4,000. That was about $3,000 more than I ever had in my entire life. And all it took was a mental decision to not go and sleep with sluts anymore. And then I made money within 30 days. So it is one or the other. You're not going to be able to chase sluts and make money. It's one or the other. That has been my personal experience. It's one or the other. And if you want to transmutate your sexual energy, the best thing you could do is not have an orgasm, because when you orgasm, you release your energy. You want that energy inside you and let it build up and grow and grow and grow. And you're in a great place as a young man because you are so filled with testosterone and energy that if you let that build inside you instead of releasing it on some random sluts, you're going to have so much energy and so much creation energy that you're going to be able to build something very special. Listen, they show you pornography for the very specific reason. They want you to dissipate your energy. They want you obsessed with sex so you dissipate your energy. They don't want you to have your energy. So I say keep it. Don't do what they want. Keep the energy. Let it build, and you can use that energy to create something, especially because you don't have a wife or a girlfriend. And having sex with randoms is not going to get you the desired result. So if you're not prepared to commit to a young lady and she's not prepared to commit to you, I would say commit to your business and let your business be your new mistress and let your business be the creation from your sexual energy. That is transmutation of sexual energy. It does not always mean having sex. Like St. Augustine said, lust indulged became habit, and habit unresisted became necessity. You said that having sex is no option. Well, that is simply in your mind. And that thought has been implanted in your mind because you are, like all of us were at some time, a pornography addict. And pornography has implanted in your mind. You gotta have sex all the time. Gotta go. Gotta have more sex. Well, if you're smart and creative and courageous, you'll use that energy to build something so spectacular that you'll be shocked at the end when you finally do build it. Joe asks, what is your opinion on eating pork? I have recently thought about why Muslims and Jews don't eat pork, and through some research I found that the Bible also forbids eating it. Modern Christians don't seem to follow it though. I used to believe the lies about pork. I used to think that pork was a filthy animal and you shouldn't eat it. I stayed away from it just because of what it said in the Quran and the Jews don't eat it. I thought there was something there, but then I thought about it even more. I love pork. Why the fuck would I not eat it? I love it. And my people, the Germanic peoples, the pork is a very special animal. Sausage is one of our favorite dishes. Our people, my people, love porks. Why would I listen to these desert peoples who don't eat pork? I don't give a damn what they eat. You eat whatever you want to eat. But I'm going to eat what I want to eat. And I tell you what, I love to eat pork ribs. I love pork ribs. I've been eating pork ribs darn near every single day. Where I am in the world right now, I've got access to incredible beef and incredible pork. And it's totally natural. They're not feeding these animals the wrong foods. It's all totally natural and it's super cheap. So, I have been eating me some pork and loving it. Pork ribs cooked on a BBQ or cooked in an oven or cooked in a convection oven. So good. So I love pork and that's that. 26-year-old Doomer asks, Vic, why do the crispy charcoal bits of cooked meat taste so good? That's a great question. I don't really know the answer. I just know that those caramelized bits are the tastiest bits of meat. And when I take my ribs out of the barbecue or out of the oven, those are the bits I like to eat first. Those crispy charcoal bits. Now, they say that those crispy charcoal bits are the parts that cause you cancer. I don't know about all that. I just know that they taste damn good. Sean asks, what do you think about the sovereign movement that says we enslave ourselves by giving our children a legal name via a birth certificate, a social security number, and then later applying for government licenses? Is there a metaphysical reason they do this, a practical legal reason, or are the followers of this movement insane? Okay, the followers of the movement are not quite insane. They do have a point, but they don't have all of the story, and none of us have all the story because these people in charge have been lying to us and deceiving us for so long that we can't make heads or tails of what we're doing. The idea behind the sovereign movement is that we give them permission to rule over us when we sign up for a birth certificate, sign up for a social security number. And I tend to think that, yeah, that's probably true because they cannot rule us without our consent. We must give them consent, but the only way they can get consent is through lies and deception. So they do a lot of great many acts of trickery to get us to consent without our knowledge that we are consenting. And I'll tell you one thing in specific that they do that most people would never, ever, ever notice. And that's how they get away with it. Most people don't notice. You don't ever think about why you're getting a social security number and what it means. You don't think about why you're getting a birth certificate. You don't think about why you're getting a driver's license. Why would you need a driver's license to drive a car if you lived in a free world? You don't. You have to get permission from your masters. And when you get that driver's license, you are consenting to allow them to rule over you. And if you don't, they'll take you to jail. So it's a bit of a conundrum. Now, one thing they do that is so devilishly tricky that I want to share with you. Open up your New Testament to any page and look for the word Lord in the New Testament. Lord means God. Lord is God. So anytime you see the word Lord in the New Testament, guess what? It's in all caps. L-O-R-D in all caps. Okay, what's strange about that? Well, what other words in the New Testament are in all caps? None of them. That's strange. So why would the word Lord be in all caps when no other words are in all caps? Is it because God is the Most High and therefore he must be in all caps? Not quite. You see, in the English language, words are not spelled in all caps. They're not. Get out your old English textbook. Get out a Styles manual. Look at the way English is spelled. There are no words in the English language that are spelled in all caps. So when you spell a word in all caps, that means it does not belong to the English language. So when you open your New Testament and you see that the word Lord is in all caps, that means that that word is not a part of the English language. And because it is not part of the English language, what does that mean? Well, it means quite simply that right under your nose, they have removed God from the Bible. So when you swear on this document, you swear on a document that has God removed from the pages. There is no word in the English language that is represented in all caps. Go to English class, help your children with their English homework and write everything in all caps, and you'll see that they get an F. Words are not written in all caps. And when they do this, it is a very subtle trickery that you don't really think about. When I read the Bible, I thought, why is the word Lord in all caps? And then I just forgot about it. And that's what everybody does. Nobody actually thinks about it. But if you want to know what they're doing to you, you have to know how to read. And if you knew how to read, you would know that words in English are not represented in all caps. And if you knew how to read, you would know that all of these documents we sign up for are subtle pieces of lies and manipulation designed to get us to consent to their governance. And if we don't consent, they can't govern us. You know why? God has given us free will. We are not beholden to man. They do not have moral authority over us unless we believe that they do. And through these subtle lies and manipulations and trickery, they get us to believe that they have moral authority over us. But do they really? Artelect asks, do you have any advice for handling U.S. taxes? Due to my ignorance starting my business last year, I will have to go into debt with the IRS a few thousand. Yeah, I've got one piece of advice for anybody dealing with taxes in the United States. Here's my biggest piece of advice. Get your taxable income so low that you don't have to pay taxes. I believe the amount is $12,000 a year. If you have a taxable income less than $12,000 a year, you don't have to pay U.S. income taxes. And I would suggest doing this because why would you ever pay for your government who does nothing to help you and does everything to hurt you? I would suggest why would you want to pay for this? Why would you want to give them money if you don't have to? I would look at the reasons why you are paying income tax in the first place and realize, something fishy's going on here. Something fishy. Let me be smart. Let me find ways to write off my income so that my taxable income is lower than $12,000 a year. So I don't have to pay for this. Bill asks, how can we connect to the divine? Ooh, that's a real great question. There's a lot I've got to say on this topic. What do you say we cover this in the next episode of the Bold and Determined podcast? We'll cover how to connect with the divine. And until next time, my friendly friends, have a nice day.